And most of the emotions that we go through in life, many, most, or almost all, have its origin in the things we are thinking. The way we're thinking about something, and then something happens, then it comes out full-blown as the energy of an emotion. And the tough part about that energy of the emotion is when most of us sense the energy of emotion, we don't go, so, emotion, I will be still and know. We go, wonder what that emotion's coming from. I must investigate. I must hang with it and stay with it until I get somewhere. And then the emotion and your mind are working hand in hand that cause you to feel that emotion for longer and deeper. Great day to be here. Thank you all, the musicians and the choir. I appreciate you all doing that. Today we're concluding our 4-week series on this book, Don't Believe Everything You Think. It's really been a very simple but profound book for many of us because the basic premise is one that we can all follow. It's part of the reason we do meditation here. Michael has been doing meditation on Wednesday nights. He's suspending that until the end of the year. But we will still be doing meditation here at 10:30 each Sunday for 20 minutes. It's really a great way to start this whole process of being here. I hope if you haven't been coming, you'll come. We have about 30 to 40 people each week. Don't believe everything you think means you have to stop thinking for a minute. Or you'll continue that thinking, and the thinking will lead you just where it was before, most likely. I don't know if you've ever noticed your own thinking. Say you're under stress, there's something that's stressing you. And so this thought pattern comes up. It could be anything that's causing you stress, but let's say you have a friendship that used to be really great, now it's falling apart in some way, and so now you start to wonder what they're thinking about you, and now you start thinking about that. And with that comes a bit of feeling of either anxiety or sadness. And then that just feeds right into the thinking, and the thinking becomes circular, because once you start thinking those thoughts, and the sadness and the anxiety tell you to think again on the same thought, because you must think there must be something that's causing you anxiety and sadness, so let me think about what that might be, and so it goes, right? Have you had that experience where just the thing won't leave you alone? It just hangs with you, and it rides along with you in the car to work. You get to work. Funny thing, you open your computer, and this thought is still with you. It's thought feeling as a bundle is still with you. It just hangs. And so, someone comes by and say, how are you today? And you go, I'm good. And inside you go, except, blah, 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 right? And so what this book is saying is essentially, if you want to get out of that rhythm that you've been dancing to, the way to do it is to stop thinking. To slow that process down to the very least, the very best you can. And one way to do it, of course, and why we emphasize meditation here, is that for the sanity that it brings you, when you can focus on something else and break the spell. It's just like a spell, isn't it? Our own minds are like casting us into a spell or a stupor or a fear or an anxiety or a sadness or whatever. And most of the emotions that we go through in life, many of them, most of them, maybe, I wouldn't go all of them, but many, most, or almost all, have its origin in the things we are thinking. The way we're thinking about something, and then something happens, then it comes out full-blown as the energy of an emotion. And the tough part about that energy of the emotion is when most of us sense the energy of emotion, we don't go, so, emotion, I will be still and know. We go, wonder what that emotion's coming from. I must investigate. I must hang with it and stay with it until I get somewhere. And then the emotion and your mind are working hand in hand to cause you to feel that emotion for longer and deeper. Now, there must be a biological reason for that. That essentially this mind-body kind of activity like that is designed to have you never repeat a dangerous thing. As a living being, having a body, if we do too many stupid things, we die. Our children are never born, and their grandchildren, and for generations afterwards, you'll be never remembered. But if you don't do too many stupid things, you might have children, and your DNA might go down forever. Right? And so it's programmed into those of us who actually, or our ancestors rather, who actually were smart enough not to do too many stupid things. That's how we got here. Which means that we were programmed to be more or less anxious, wary, frightened. It was helpful. One of the curious things about human beings, though, is unlike just surviving, we wish to thrive. We wish to have more than our bellies full and a place to sleep. We want to become that which we have an inkling about ourselves. We want to be fulfilled. We want to be happy. We want to be in a loving relationship. We want to have a sense of the divine or something that transcends who we are. We want all these things because, unlike previous animals, we have a calling, I guess, really, from the divine to wake up to the divine because we can. Because something about the way we're structured, something about our innate spiritual nature calls out to us to awaken to who we really are. And who you really are is not a bundle of nerves and thought patterns and emotions only, although that's in the mix for sure. But who you really are can be tapped in, felt, most often when we sit still enough or calm the mind down enough that something can emerge from within us. Now, there are the parietal lobes, and those parietal lobes tend to tell us where we are in space. Proprioception, what the body's doing in space, where we are, our relationships out there to that. Now, some of the studies that have been done, when the parietal lobes have been altered or changed or damaged or something, or through drugs quieted down, there is a breakthrough that happens when we stop practicing being this body-mind, practicing survival. When that stops, there's an explosion of awareness that or maybe it comes subtly, but it spreads out, and we begin to realize that we are not just the body, but we are something in which the body exists. And not only that, we're not just by ourselves, we are not a separate self, we're with everything. And maybe we have visions, or maybe we have a sense of the divine, or some people even say, oh, I saw God. All these things happen when we stop this practiced, genetically predisposed, fear-based, anxiety-based, small body-sized self practice. And so spirituality has been around a long time. And many ways of spirituality are saying, here's how to get there. And you know, those of you who do hatha yoga, you know that the reason that it's there is to reduce the tension in the body so that the mind can meditate. And the mind, when the mind meditates, the mind slides a little to the side so the download of the experience of the presence of the divine can be felt more fully. And that feeling of that experiencing of that is what I'm talking about when we feel we have a calling. We wish to move out and realize that we're not just bodies, but we are, when we stop focusing like that, we are that. The it, the one. And so, what this book is saying is that the machination form of thinking, that repetitive thing that comes over and over and over, that triggers emotion, that re-triggers the thought process, that is for your physical body to survive. But to thrive in this world, if you tune into the higher aspects of yourself, then you get intuitions and ideas and feeling states even. And those feeling states are the ones we've been looking for by trying to manipulate the world out there with our thinking. What are they? Joy, love, and peace. Joy, love, and peace. The big three. They're right there inside you when you stop doing that which is not allowing them to be shining through you. And so, if we can get you to meditate, and most people, so I've taught a few meditation classes. Here's what people say: I can't meditate. Every time I stop to meditate, all I hear is the thinking in my head. Well, it was there, whether you were trying to meditate or not, right? It's just that you come along with the yada, 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 yada. Someone says, sit and watch your breath, and the yada, 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 yada continues and goes out this way, and you come out of it and you go, all I heard was yada, yada, yada. But you could have heard it over here, and you are still doing it over here, right? The yada, yada is the problem. The thinking, not the thought that comes to you in meditation or in the stillness or in your profound asking. The yada yada is the chewing of the gray matter on something. Has anybody ever had that in meditation? We get it people who've been meditating for centuries, they can still have it. It's kind of natural because you have one of these and one of those. And what happens is that activates and precludes the perception from a higher level. And so, I don't know if you had this experience, but it happens for me. So if you're breathing along and you're calming yourself down with the breath, as we did in the meditation, calming yourself down, just watching one thing. And some people do a mantra, that's another way to do it. Some people scan the body, that's another way to do it. But then at one point, you stop and hold your breath for just a little bit. Do you notice that your mind, beep, and then it picks right back up? I don't know, I have that experience. I was at Hum, which is meditation and awakening center in Asheboro. And I was really gonna get it this time. I'm going down. And I was going down. And suddenly I stopped breathing. And I went, wow, I don't have to breathe here. So when the meditation was over, I asked the guru, and the guru said, well, the breath and thought arise from the same place. So when you get down to where there's no thought, there's no breath. I was fascinated by that. So if you see me walking around, I'm blue in the face. You know what I'm doing? Another way to get there is to really love something, someone. Have you noticed? You leave your mind and you move to your heart and you really, really love someone. And you're in that state of love, and when you're in that state of love, the mind doesn't have a lot to do unless it goes, I'm in a new place. This is scary. What if they don't love me back? What if what I love breaks? What if this scene of beauty in the wilderness I'm in, and I have to, and it starts again, right? So just when that kind of thing happens and you've gotten to a good place, then notice it. Oh, you're talking again. You're talking. Well, I'm glad you're here. But right now, I'm not paying attention. So just sit there, do whatever you do, but I'm over here. I'm at peace. I'm in love. I'm in joy. I'm going to stay here for a while. Of course you're talking. It's your job. Me, I'm not just you. Or as we like to say, so, talking, right? Noticing, naming, and letting it go. Another way to get beyond talking is to go into deep sleep. The problem is, you don't remember it. But in that time, the mind is taking a break, and it's in the steady state of deep sleep. And what you will notice when you're awakened from a steady state of deep sleep, when you actually have had that deep sleep, is that you're refreshed and happy, at least neutral. You wake up on the right side of the bed. So just see how beautiful it is to not think for a while, to just be. There's a form of meditation, and this is the last one I'll tell you, but we just pursue this as an ideal, not to think about it, please, but to be it in a place of stillness at least once a day, where you take that thing out of gear, and even though it's still running, it's none of your business at this moment. Just be still and know. And perhaps you'll have an insight. Perhaps you'll have a sense of freedom. Perhaps that emotion that you've been carrying around with you at work, perhaps that will just calm down. And what you'll find is underneath that are the big three: joy, peace, and love. Because underneath this body-mind configuration is the depth of who you are, which is the transcendent, divine, one with the one who you are. That one who you are with everything is itself joy and peace and love. And so as we stop practicing thinking about everything, which in my opinion largely erupts when fear of any type comes. This will end. I can't get there. What if? Those are fear words. But in the presence, it could just be the stillness, the real you. Not the part that dies, not the part that gets bruised by what other people say, that real you that just lives in a place because it is the one, the energy within you. When you pay attention to that, then all the rest can fall away. And if you have some skills, you can come back to it. So come and meditate with us. Read the book. Do yoga. Find some way to trigger stillness within you. Let us pray. Notice, please, as we begin, notice what's happening. Are you feeling something, thinking something, feeling, thinking at the same time? So let's not look at that for the moment. Accept that it's there. Be okay with it being there. But move over. Move over to the breath. Place your mind on the breath. Feel things relax and shake out. Relax deeper. And then as you go into being more than thinking, if there's anything you need to understand, ask that you receive the wisdom you need. A response to a question, a simple longing, whatever. And let it happen to you. That your inner wisdom can be heard because you're not listening to the noise. All is well, and always will be. Amen.
I hope you got something out of today's service. We intend to bring you things that will help you in your life become more of who you want to be, give you the freedom of forgiveness and the hope of expectancy that your life will unfold in a way that brings you joy, happiness, and is a contribution to the world. If you would like to contribute to this ministry, please go to unitytriangle.org, hit the donate button, and it will lead you into an easy way of doing that. We thank you for your attention and look forward to seeing you again here.